my go-to.
Yeah.
Let's say, is it the frozen stuff? Because I just picked some up.
This is not frozen, no.
Okay.
They do have a frozen. No, it's not tikka masala. It's like butter sauce or like something different. But
what, Trader Joe's?
Yeah.
Yeah. They have butter chicken.
Yeah, butter chicken.
They have lamb vindaloo. They have the biryani, like little rice dish with the veggie balls, because veggie balls are ball-licious. And they have like a couple of stuff pockets, but
there's a future episode. Road food.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, if anybody's listening, we're not really doing anything yet. We're just BSing and Hayden's eating. So enjoy the stupidity that will be this podcast for this evening. And it's water.
It's okay though. I'm professional enough to eat before the podcast and not during, not just like chew into the mic.
Actually, we should actually do that one of those times. Just like eat like nuts or something.
Just something.
Pistachios,
Doritos,
like crack. Yeah, Doritos, Funyuns.
Mm-hmm.
Some Funyun action.
Funyuns are good.
Sunflower seeds, just
spit them at the camera.
Right. I might have a bag or two of those around. Those help me quit smoking.
The
really?
Fixation? How does that? What is it? Is it somehow substitute a cigarette?
Yeah, it's something to do.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, you just gotta want it. You just gotta be bored with it and just be like, nah, I'm done.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, Chantix, man. I just took that crap for 2 months. Man,
what does that do?
So it
makes you suicidal.
No, I was already suicidal. Who gives a crap, man? I didn't do dick. So basically, it suppresses your desire to smoke. Okay, so
It's
essentially, how it works is you get a prescription. It's like a half dose. At first, you take the half dose and you just smoke. Nothing changes. You just smoke as many cigarettes as you used to. And then you keep taking it. And then literally, I'm not kidding you. The first week I went from 40 a day. The next day, 20. The next day, 10. The next day, 5.
Damn.
And then basically on day 7, no smoking. And then you take the full dose for as long as you feel you need to take it.
You went from 2 packs a day to nothing in a week.
Yep. That's how good Chantix is. It's an amazing thing. Now, it is a antidepressant by nature, and it does have absolutely fantastic side effects like hallucinations.
You're like, is this what the world is really like?
Yeah, and let's see what else it did. I had extremely vivid dreams. I mean, vivid dreams, talking sheep, stuff like that. I'm not kidding. It's amazing. It's just unbelievable. And then nausea out of nowhere, because I went out to LA to quit because I didn't want to kill people here. I figured, well, I could kill people in LA. It's more fun.
Yeah, it's much better.
So I'm out with my sister, and we're at Fogo de Chao. And I'm having fun. And then all of a sudden, this huge wave of nausea hit me.
Fogo de Chao.
And I was like, well, I got to go to the bathroom. My sister's like, you okay? I go, yeah, I'm fine. Went to the bathroom. Essentially, every piece of meat was recycled.
Oh, man.
And then I went back and said, well, we got to go. And she just looked at me and went, did you throw up? I go, oh, no. I didn't throw up. I made a cow. So it was just like this wave.
There's a cow in the toilet.
There's a cow in the fucking shower. Hopefully they don't go serve it again. But I mean, it was like this instant wave of nausea. It wasn't building. It was literally, I'm sitting there. We're just having a good time. And I went, oh my God, I got to go.
Oh, that's wild. I will be right back before we start.
I can't imagine the overwhelming feeling of like having wasted your money at Fogo.
Yes.
That's
and
crazy.
The great part about it wasn't my money, it was hers. So
wow.
It was it was her little gift to me for like quitting smoking after like the 30 years I smoked.
That's a good way to thank her. Just throw up your entire meal.
I couldn't help it. I mean, that wave of nausea just came over me. It was like just instant, just absolutely instant. It was so weird, but hey, after that, I stopped taking it, and then I haven't smoked since. It's been 10 years.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm very happy I did that. So if any of you listening to us rambling, but we would get started on a bunch of other rambling. Quit smoking. And then give me all your money you saved from smoking to me. 'Cause I want your money.
Baby, I want your money.
Give
Don't
me
know
your
what
money.
we're talking about, but
Oh no, we're just continuing the puke fest. So
are we live? Are we
yeah, we're live.
oh,
We just haven't
wonderful.
started the podcast yet. All right. Don't worry, guys.
I don't
We'll
see
start
that.
in a minute. Yeah, I do. I see where it says live. It's like 5 minutes, 32 seconds. You don't see that?
No, I was looking for it on Facebook. I usually
Oh, no,
have
it's-
it up in a window.
It's actually there. It is there. Steve took care of the fun thing, so it's right there.
Listen,
I should be able to mark as an announcement, which I just did. So that's good. So that will let me do it, but I'm not too sure about. Oh, wait, hold on. We get started soon, guys. Sorry, we're kind of like.
oh, you know it helps if I go to the right page.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, shall we begin, kids? Hayden, are you ready? You comfortable to go? No, I'll actually host it if you guys want to. I'm cool with that. Or do you want to host it? It's up to you.
No, it doesn't matter.
Huh.
Yeah, if you want to,
Yeah.
you want to get us.
I'll
going.
have some fun today. All right, guys. Well, we're about to go live. So, and here we go. What's up, guys? Of course, you're obviously listening to Cars and Coffee podcast. And today it's kind of a short crew. It's myself, we got David, and we have Hayden. And so we're just going to get right to it. Obviously, we have bad weather coming and lots of snow. So there's probably a lot of cancellation on events. And I'm just going to let David take care of that one right now.
You know what? That's this is actually going to be really quick. So far, basically every single event is tentative. Whether or not they've made an announcement is basically what we're thinking. Officially, Mike Ward Supercar Saturday with the Koenigsegg event has been canceled. Unfortunately, the Koenigsegg's will not be making an appearance at future events. Vehicle Vaults also canceled. Aaron made a very lovely video talking about that. And Cars and Coffee Loveland, they haven't officially canceled, but all they've said is, well, the weather gods are not in our favor. Other than that, everybody else hasn't made any posts, but I would say if you are planning on going out, double check the page, make sure your event's still going on, and if you do go, drive safe.
You know, at the old Lafayette Cars and Coffee, they used to there was a couple inclement weather ones. It wasn't like dumping snow at the time, but Terry, were you there?
I think so.
When there was a big pile of snow and there were some guys with forerunners
Yes.
and So what happened? I'm glad that's all I had to say because it was that memorable.
Yes.
So what
I was there.
happened? What happened was they were trying to climb this snowbank, and look, I got nothing against off-road guys, but this was, this was still pretty entertaining. They were so this one dude was backing out of it, and I guess he had his lockers on, 4 low, all that, full low speed climb mode, and he was backing down from the snowbank, and he had the wheel completely turned, and he was spinning wheels on the snowbank trying to get off, and as soon as his front wheels hit the pavement, you just heard pop, and killed an axle.
Oh no.
Right in front, like me, Terry, and a bunch of people were just standing there watching.
Like,
we're just like,
I was there.
Did what we think just happened just happen?
Yeah, it just happened. It was great.
I was on my way home today, and the neighborhood that I live in has these tiny ass little roundabouts, and they're not, good ones, not proper ones. And I don't know what he was doing, but all I saw was a car with both of the front wheels turned outward.
Wow.
And back behind the engine, probably a foot further than they should be normally, and the car just smoking, and he's just sitting there like, please don't look at me, please don't look at me. He went through the roundabout straight through. And so there were just rocks and a sign, and everything was just everywhere today.
He just utterly disregarded the roundabout.
He completely disregarded it.
He was like, "This is a normal straight piece of road."
It wasn't like that video though, where you see the guy just launch. That guy probably still had something left of his car, but this guy just hit it so bloody hard.
No, you need a good ramp for that.
Broop. Yeah.
Wow.
That's great.
Oh,
Well, so
fun. We're gonna see some good accidents this week.
So be safe out there if you guys do have to be out and about. Unfortunately, a lot of shows are being canceled. It is the weather, and it is that end of winter going to springtime in Colorado, and this is what you get. So enjoy that. So moving on, I'm going to skip around some of the stuff that we're going to talk about. But today, I think we're going to start with the results of Romain Grosjean's crash investigation, because F1 is heating up. So it is interesting.
Getting going.
Was that good pun? Good.
Yes.
That wasn't a pun.
Wasn't a pun.
I do not acknowledge your pun. Anyway, we have the season coming up, Drive to Survive on Netflix.
Yeah.
Very much looking forward to, and
yeah, definitely. So the interesting thing I think when that crash for Romain Grosjean, the fireball and everything, pretty much there's a lot of speculation when that happened. I mean, Hayden and I are big into F1, and even the broadcasters of the commentary kind of hit the nail on the head. So just really quick is what essentially happened here is obviously the car suffered extensive damage during the impact, including separation of the powertrain assembly from the survival cell, obviously, because we saw that. But because of that, the fuel tank inspection hatch on the left-hand side of the chassis was dislodged, and the engine fuel supply connection was torn from the fuel tank safety bladder, both providing primary paths for escape of fuel from the tank. So that is why that fireball happened. Even they were saying that when they're looking back at the replays of the crash, saying it looks like that's what happened. So it did. The general stuff that they're saying is the Hans device worked correctly. The fire suit worked correctly, because they even updated that fire suit for 2020. But if we've been watching F1 for as long as I have, as long as Hayden has, and probably some other people that are out there, Niki Lauda's crash and other crashes fire protection kept on going up. Interestingly, they want to look at the gloves and the heat index on the gloves, because he did suffer, burns on the gloves. So you'll probably see some changes there with the gloves. So the fire protection on there is higher. So obviously, yes, certain things were not supposed to happen. The fuel cell was supposed to be designed that, things like that wouldn't happen. But obviously this is another dimension of a crash and the physics behind it that they really didn't think would happen. So it is interesting to see. Also, the ERS was significantly damaged, with basically it almost broke in half, because they had parts of it remaining with the powertrain and other attached to the fires to the survival cell. So they're going to look at that. So just a real quick tap before I let Hayden and David comment right here. They're looking at a design review for the fuel bladder, and they're going to look at fuel safety bladder installation best practices, just to see where they can go from there. Update on some of the standards for the safety fuel bladders. It's all fuel bladder. It's pretty much everything they're actually doing here. So it was just interesting to see. I'm glad Romain survived, and it's just a testament to how well those cars are. Absolutely just how well those are.
So I guess if you didn't see this back when it happened,
you should share your screen, David.
While
Hayden's talking.
They did two different races at the track in Bahrain, right? One of them was the normal track that they always do, and the other was a shortened outer loop that was significantly faster and shorter, fewer corners, and they had a barrier off to the side that I think they just didn't think about. They were like, well, cars don't, if a car is going, it was close to a turn, but it's on the inside. So logic says that you can't have something to hit on the outside where someone can understeer off to. But what happened was Roman hit someone and then got oversteer and then went off to the opposite side of what you would expect. And he went through an Armco barrier and it split his car in half. Big fireball, like Terry was saying, the car physically split into two and crawled out of it. But did they not say that much about the Halo?
No, they didn't. Honestly,
is it just that obvious? Is it just that obvious, or were they just like, well, obviously it saved his life, so we don't have to talk about it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they really kind of didn't mention it. So, yeah, it was interesting that they didn't. They did mention looking at barriers and retrofitting existing barriers to make them safer, etc. So they're definitely going to be looking at that, which is obvious because we thought they would.
It's the most obvious part about it. It just seems like obvious part. Yeah, because. Yeah, you just can't have a dangerous barrier where a car is likely to be, but even a possibility of being, in a weird kind of freak situation like this one.
Yeah, right. I mean, that's the thing. It was definitely a freak situation. I don't think they anticipated it, and it happened. But it's also a wonderful testament on how far safety in F1 is. And how they take it very, very seriously. I mean, it really is. It's not like the old days, 50s, 60s, 70s, where, I mean, literally even going into the 80s but in the heyday, like in the 60s going to the 70s, they lost several drivers in a season, and that's just the way it was. And they really took it seriously. And, it does take certain accidents to make them rethink and do things. And it does take a death, to be honest, and it does, but that's the nature of the beast. So yeah, so I was just curious to see. Glad he's okay, and good luck to him in Indy.
Yeah, I hope he gets to. I saw that he was open to doing some oval races in Indy, so and he's going to be with Dale Coyne, pretty good team. So want to see him do well. A lot of guys have come from other, even not even F1, just other forms of open wheel racing and done really great. Santino Ferrucci from F2, Felix Rosenquist, and so I think he's gonna do awesome.
Yes, yeah, I would say for sure. So any thoughts on that, David? I know you don't follow F1 as much as he did.
I'm just amazed that he walked away. I mean, this years ago, even 10 years ago, that was almost certainly a death.
Yeah, probably
2017, bro. When that was the last year that they didn't have the Halo.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you go through a barrier and then like it's like kind of, it follows like the contour of the car, right? And it ends like at some point, the highest point is the driver's head, and they're going to have to make contact with that barrier. And if he was just knocked out, if he just didn't have the wherewithal to unbuckle his seatbelt and try to get out, he would have been dead. And he absolutely. I mean, just even if he was like just knocked out and concussed, he's going to die in the fire.
Yeah.
So bless those engineers. I mean, from the vehicle, the helmet, the fire suit, the Halo, all of it. Every tiny little piece of the technology that goes into saving that life all culminated in him just getting up and walking away.
Yep.
And this is super in-depth, nerdy F1 stuff, but I'll be curious to see what they do with the gloves, because they need a lot of functionality with their hands, because they're constant. It's not just turning the car and shift and hitting the paddles. They're constantly like multiple times a lap moving around like roll bars and different, and some of like the hybrid settings and stuff like that. So they actually need a lot of dexterity in their hands. So I suspect that's one reason that maybe the rest of the suit was more protective against the
Right.
fire than just the gloves.
Yeah, you're essentially holding on to a computer that's also steering the car. So you've got to be able to move all your digits to make sure everything's going. And
and they're like I said,
in the
roll
winter
bars,
time.
everything.
Yeah. It's like in the wintertime, mittens versus gloves. What's going to be better?
Mittens, baby.
Mittens every single time.
Mittens, baby.
Yeah.
That's right. Mittens.
Yep. F1 now has to wear mittens. Flappy
That's
paddles.
fine.
Flappy paddle like flippers.
That's fine with me. That's fine. So anyway, definitely good. So that was good to see. So I think a couple more F1 things that are not on the list, but it's here. We'll just make it quick. Again, the standard response from Swingblade is I will try harder and I'll be more aggressive. If you don't know who Swingblade is,
Lewis Hamilton's teammate.
yeah.
I thought you were talking about those measures.
Valtteri Bottas.
He's finished. He's finished Swingblade. If you can combine do that voice with a Finnish accent, I'm still working on that one myself.
Right. I totally call him Swingblade because he does look like Swingblade. I'm pretty sure he eats biscuits with mustard, but he did do the standard one he does every single beginning of the season. I will be more aggressive. I won't be as nice. I will be focused. It's like, look, you're an excellent F1 driver, and you are, because none of us here can do it. But I just think when he goes against Lewis and Lewis just gets on, Lewis can take it to the next 4 steps. It's as simple as that. Valtteri might put pressure on him, and he does, but then Lewis could just go, I'll go here and here and here. I'll find tenths and more time out of the car. And that's what I'll constantly do. So I kind of feel bad for him, but he's won races, so he's no slouch. Mercedes didn't just go, hey, it's a great idea. We need a driver. Oh, Valtteri looks like a good idea. Stick him in there and we'll see what happens.
He's Finnish. He should be fast.
Because they don't do that. But I kind of feel bad for him because it's like he's stuck in this in this loop of I say this every single year and I start really good, and then halfway through the season, something bad happens to me. I don't know what it is. And I lose my confidence and I hit a slump, and then Lewis just goes whap.
It's just got to be getting your clock thoroughly cleaned week after week by reaching the top level. Not just that, reaching, because I'll hop on iRacing, right? And I'll see Lando Norris and Max Verstappen are in this race. I have no chance unless they crash. They have to crash for me to beat them. If they have even a remotely clean race, they will be, I don't know, 10, 20, 30 seconds ahead. So yeah, I know the feeling, but to get to the top level and just be like, I cannot beat this guy. Because once you get there, everybody wants to think that they can be a world champion, that they're the best out there. And I mean, in the same car, and to just for what, since 2017 was their first season together. Yeah, 4 seasons. It's rough. I feel rough for the guy.
I totally feel for him.
We give him crap, but I feel for him because he obviously he's a great driver and he wants to win races and he wants to beat his teammate. But yeah, you got one of the best guys to ever do it. To beat. So good luck.
I mean, right. Good luck. So hey, that's the thing. So I just like to bring that up because it's not like I make fun of or pick on him. I just think it's always the same thing. And good luck to you this year. And hopefully you'll find your break and you'll get a world championship and then you can retire. And then we can get George Russell in that seat and see what he can do as well. But go from there. So yeah, so it'll be good. The season's starting up. So if you're all F1 fans, you should get into it, which would be fantastic. And I'm just going to close the F1 segment with one simple thing is, Ferrari. We'll see what they've got this year after they had to redesign their entire car because, when you burn oil consistently and the FIA catches you and they tell you never to do that again, you have a crap car.
Yeah, it was not necessarily a better a better chassis. It was
Yeah.
just a faster car,
Yep.
and nobody understood where this power was coming from. And then they made a clarification about this. Did not even slap Ferrari on the wrist. Nothing.
Yeah.
Just said, "Hey, just so you know, this particular engine regulation, we're going to elaborate on this more." And then Ferrari they pulled back, and what Max Verstappen said to a Dutch newspaper is that's what happens when you get caught cheating.
Yes.
So,
And it kind of is. So it's not like one of those things, but it is. So I'm sorry, but it is.
did you want to briefly mention sprint races?
Yeah, go ahead.
I saw that was down the way.
Yeah, go for it.
I don't know too much about it. It's just that they're going to do this once this season?
Once or twice this season.
Once or twice. There will be a practice session that is replaced with a 45-minute sprint race, and that will determine the qualifying order for the full race, which F2 has been doing this for a while, and I think they do it every weekend. But yeah, they're adopting a new format, which is, not crazy different. You're just having a qualifying race basically.
Yeah.
So I'm all for giving the fans more races.
So according to Steve, his bets are on Haas, which is good because Steve does not follow F1. So
2 rookie drivers, American team. That sounds about right.
yeah. So so sprint race will be interesting. I don't know if we'll take on, but we'll see. So I want to see it first to see what it does, and then we'll comment on it, to be honest with you. And just to tag on to Steve real quick about Haas. Yes, Mick Schumacher will be driving for Haas, and he is Michael Schumacher's, son. We will see what he has in an F1 car. There is also, and I always get the name wrong, so his name shall be and will ever be Marzipan.
I love Marzipan.
That's his name. So
That's
Marzipan. Good. He's actually the other driver in there. And if anybody's noticed about the Haas color scheme, it's a Russian flag. And good old Marzipan's not supposed to be representing Russia in any shape or form in any sporting event because of doping regulations. Haas, good on you.
Don't worry, Marzipan. You don't have to race under the Russian flag. We'll just make our entire car a Russian flag. And then every time we pull the cover off of it, the national anthem plays. It's gonna be great.
It's great. Thanks, Steve. Steve's got humor today, everybody. Steve
couldn't join us, but he can certainly make comments from the peanut gallery.
Yes, of course, because he's just he's Steve. But yeah, all right, so we should move on. We kind of beat this one to death real quick. Let's do guys. So I'm gonna move on, and we're just gonna bring it up real quick. I don't know why I've kind of looking at that Aston Martin DB4. If you can't buy a regular Aston, I don't know.
So this is a continuation car.
Yes, that's exactly what
controversial in the collector car space.
Yes.
You cannot race this car at Goodwood. You cannot take it to the Pebble Beach Concours. But it is a DB4 built by Aston Martin that is ostensibly exactly like you would have bought a new one in 1964. So 58. Or I don't even know. When did they build these things?
So the DB4 is like 58.
Yeah, 50. Okay, yeah. DB5 was probably closer to 64.
Still a good looking car. And it's still just looking.
Why do you think they decided to do this one? So the DB5 is way more sought after. Why do you think they did this instead of that?
Well, see, this one right here is the second ever DB4 built. Okay, so I know there's a valuation car out there that's kind of based on this, and I that's where I was trying to steer the conversation a little bit. But also, this is literally the second DB4 ever built. It's just,
that's pretty cool. I guess they probably didn't do a lot of pre-pro back in those days.
So I mean, I do love an Aston. I do love the DB5, and we all know why everybody loves DB5s. And in my case,
That's interesting. You mentioned the DB5 because we all know why, and that's because of Bond.
Exactly.
But what did he drive in the book?
I can't remember because honestly, I can't remember.
A
what he drove in the
DB3.
book.
They
Yeah.
just
Oh,
skipped
yeah.
over the 4 altogether.
Well, it's all good. I used to have a Corgi, which was a toy car make in England, just like Dinky Toys, but a Corgi one that had the ejector seat and had like, you know, the wheel spinners that came out, it had the machine guns, and it had the bulletproof plate, and it had the number plate. I love that car. It was great. I love that car so much. That car and the die-cast Starship and Enterprise were BAF toys.
Nice.
Wow.
Straight out. And in case you're curious, way off. But if you take the dinky, you know, the die-cast USS Enterprise that fired the little plastic disc and flip it upside down in a BAF, it becomes a speedboat.
Wow.
Anyway,
Interesting.
yes. So I don't know. I just wanted to kind of like bring up a DB4 for no good reason at all. If we had a lot of money, we could buy this.
I think I always love continuation cars. I don't have that purist sort of mentality. And
Yes.
you know, as we've gone through like some of our like dream car stuff, and I'm just like, well, I would just make my own Porsche 935 or my own Porsche 962. You know, I love the idea of, you know, taking a, you know, modern materials and modern manufacturing and decades of technology and throwing it towards making, you know, something that was very old.
Exactly.
But that's not what this is. I'm
No.
talking more of like, you know, resto modding. This is a recreation. This is
recreation.
Essentially, if you were to walk into a dealer in 1958, this is the exact driving experience that you would have gotten.
Yes. So what Hayden was talking about, which is why I did that little DB4 because I knew this would come up. This is
man, look at that.
That is the DB4 GT continuation. Okay. Which has got some purists kind of up on edge, but you know what? So be it. This is what it is. So
don't buy one. If you don't like it, don't buy it.
Right.
These are the same kind of people that even if it is an original car, they'll trash it for having a non-matching engine or non-matching transmission or something. It's like,
yes.
Well, they
want everything all original, but
they could just take their $1.2 million somewhere else then if they don't like it.
That's right.
Right. Exactly. And honestly, look, if truth be told, if you guys want to buy this, look how fast it comes out of a garage. Look at that.
That's amazing.
Look at that.
So fast. I mean, you can barely tell.
The picture's kind of blurry. Yeah, exactly.
It's blurry because that car is bending time and space.
Yes, it is.
So
with 1950s technology, got to be terrifying.
Oh yeah.
So if I had the money, I would get the second ever produced DB4 because it's on the Sotheby's auction, and I would buy one of these.
One to show off and one to drive around.
And I would take the second ever built DB4 and track the crap out of it.
Like how you would track the original one and not this one. It's
like, no,
this one must be pristine.
I would get a wrap that looks just like the continuation and then wrap the continuation in that cream.
I gotta tell you, the British racing green with the big meatballs on the side is such a good look.
Yeah, it really, really is. So if anybody is listening tonight, what do you think about this? I don't think anybody's listening tonight.
No, it's okay. No, we're just talking to ourselves. That's okay. That's what a podcast is.
Yeah, exactly. Really it's all good. It's fine.
It's the three of us, and I think
see.
Oh no, we just lost a viewer.
That's it.
Yeah, we did. Whoops. Sorry.
It's so funny. And I know I'm one of them, and Steve's one of them. So who are the other three?
John's one of them, and I am, and so say.
No, I'm not.
Okay,
so we have one actual viewer tonight.
Excellent. That's good. Well, welcome.
Thank you, sir.
One guy. Do you guys want to do trivia?
Non-binary person. Yeah, let's
So-
hit our one viewer with some trivia for sure.
So I'm
Here's
totally
the
going to
question,
be
who are you?
yeah. I am totally going to be weird right now in this. So we do have who's that? Who
Who's
said
it?
that?
Vic's here. That's
Hey,
who our
Vic.
viewer is.
Oh, Vic is here. Hi, Vic.
Yes,
Oh,
Vic is loyal.
Vic would
All
love
right.
that.
Hey, thank you, Vic.
So real quickly, we have and Steve's still here, but none of us care. So we do have John, who is in the background right now, just kind of helping us out. I'm gonna bring John in real quick. Hopefully, John can hear us and get ready. I just want to know how he feels about this DB4 GT continuation, just to kind of get another perspective. So I'm gonna bring John real quick in as a guest. So here comes John. Hi, John.
John, you
Hey,
can't
guys.
race it at Goodwood. You shan't do that. How do you feel about this, Cal?
I think it's beautiful.
I have nothing but
And
respect
that was
for you,
John, ladies and gentlemen.
Steve. Yeah.
Thanks.
So you got nothing? You nothing on this one?
He said it's beautiful.
So okay. How
I
how
would
do you
race it.
feel? Yeah, thank you. Now, would you
There we go.
race the second ever made DP4 if you could afford it?
Is that too much? Is that over
Is
the
that-
line?
Just too much over the line there.
I can't let cars sit, so I would have to race it.
Yes.
See?
Yes.
That's
I knew there was
fantastic.
something I liked about you.
You see? That is great. That is absolutely fantastic. And just so we all know, yes, Steve, I love you too, Steve, because Steve and I are really good friends. I just like busting his chops. So, but how do you feel about continuation cards, John? Because I know, you're into a lot of this stuff. So how does that make you feel when you see like a classic, like, then they kind of bring it back out, the continuation of it and stuff like that? Does that rile your hackles at all?
A little bit, because I mean, well, at least for the people that currently own it, they're going to be a little, upset because here's a car that looks exactly like mine, and then comes out. But at the same time, for some of us that don't have the opportunity to own some of these cars, like the RS 200 Evolution, those old rally cars and stuff, it's a really cool opportunity for us.
I was going to
Right.
mention the RS 200, but it's probably too rare and too pure and frankly
Right.
too complex
Too
to
beautiful.
really reproduce. But what would you think about say like an RS Escort RS 1600
I'd be open to it. Yeah,
production? That would be that would be
Yeah.
a cool one for Ford to do.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, we're kind of drifting off topic. I don't care.
We're
This-
talking
this is kinda
continuation
fun.
cars. Why
Yeah.
not?
So, I mean, when I was growing up, I would not mind to see like an XR2 Fiesta.
Oh yeah.
That wouldn't be bad to see. Also, get out there with a nice XR4 Ti.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, those are the cars I grew up with, back in, the day, and we don't really see many Cooper S owners of the original get bent out of shape over the BMW Cooper S, which came out. I mean, they didn't just all go crazy and go, "Rrr."
Well, it's a new retro.
It's a
style
retro,
car.
right? Yeah,
So it's not a continuation necessarily.
right.
But the other thing is classic minis are not rare and they made them for a long, long time
Right. Yeah.
in that same form. So
Right.
It's like
That's,
trying to find an old Beetle. I mean, they're a
Yeah.
dime a
It's
dozen.
the
the
same
dime-
as
the
the
dime a dozen.
Mustang.
it's the exact same idea as an
Right.
old Beetle. They took this old idea and then they made it that was like conceived in like the 50s and 60s and then they made it until the 1990s.
Yes.
So
Yes. Right.
and they didn't like update it. They're just like,
Like the
I mean a little
Ford
bit here.
Econoline van.
Yeah.
Yes.
The
Exactly.
same windshield from 1974 until they killed the van, 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
It was $40. It was great.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah,
change what
definitely.
ain't broke.
Yes. Right.
This is why the Germans lost World War II. Okay, not enough standardization across industry.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
one
what
of
it was.
many reasons, but that didn't help. Okay, no spare parts, no windshields. None of that helps when you're trying to
Right.
wage war
So,
against the entire
off-
world.
Off topic. Speaking of World War II, Germany.
He already said the USS Enterprise. I mean, we're right
Yeah.
there. Go ahead.
Does
Yeah, we're
anybody else
way off
find it-
topic.
Does anybody else find it interesting that companies like BMW and Volkswagen now own the English companies that built the engines for the airplanes that defeated the Luftwaffe?
Oh yeah, it's always been a little bit. That irony has never been lost on me.
It just every time I think of it, it's like, who lost? Here we are, almost
technically-
80 years later. Did
And this-
Germany really lose?
This is really in the weeds.
Yes, goofballs.
But I believe, without looking this up, that Rolls-Royce Aerospace and Rolls-Royce Motor Cars are like two different companies, and
They are
BMW
two different companies.
Yeah. So technically, the Rolls-Royce Aerospace is still independent, but it's
Yes.
still an
Rolls-
obvious association.
Rolls-Royce Aerospace is actually trying to make nuclear-powered spacecraft now. It's like,
That's awesome.
that's where we're at 80 years later. They've gone from, making Spitfire engines to rocket ships.
Can we get them to make nuclear-powered cargo ships so car guys can stop having to take the brunt of using fossil fuels when we know that it's really the global shipping industry?
Right. And if it goes wrong, it just sinks to the bottom of the sea, which is where we're
Right.
going to put it anyways.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well-
just a little early.
It's a very simple equation. It's called we tried to conquer Europe twice and we lost, so let's just do it economically. And they won.
Yeah.
And that's
just
how
love-
it works.
I just always think of that Norm Macdonald joke. He's just like, yeah, they tried to have a war with the whole world. And then 20 years, they're like, we're going to do it again.
That's actually a spot on impersonation.
So funny.
Yeah, It
I
is.
love Norm. He's like
Ah,
got to be the most
it is.
underrated comedian out there. But anyway,
I like Eddie.
continuation cars.
I like Eddie Izzard making fun of Hitler for not ever playing Risk when he was a kid.
Right.
Like, you don't
go to
never-
Russia
you
don't go to
never
Russia.
invade Russia.
ever.
You just sit on Papua New Guinea and just build up and build
You
up
just
and build up.
everything.
Oh,
All right, we get it better. Like get back on topic and have some fun. So I just John's probably gonna be mad at me now. So I just brought John in for that one little thing.
Oh, you're good.
Sorry, John.
Oh, you're good.
Sorry, but thank you, John, because I know you're into that kind of stuff. So
Yeah,
I wanted to throw you in, and I'll
Yeah.
probably bring you in on something else in 10 minutes or so. All right,
Oh, you're
so
good.
thanks, John.
Thanks, John.
This
Yeah.
has been an appearance with John.
Yes,
So
that's great. All right,
Terry,
hey, no-
how much was your first the first car you ever bought from a dealership? How much did that cost?
Hmm. Let's see here.
What was
The
it and how much
first
did
car
it
I
cost?
ever bought from a dealership. I have bought one car from a dealership.
Really?
One. Yes, the rest I bought privately.
Oh.
So I bought my BMW from CarMax.
Yeah, I was wondering. As soon
New?
as he asked that, I was wondering if ZHP is the only one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, nope. The RAV as well.
Oh, did you?
That's-
Okay.
yeah,
She wasn't
that's it.
new. She wasn't new. He
No.
it's a car.
I've actually never bought a new car because I have no desire to buy a new car because, and honestly, it's because the simple reason that things like just devalue so quickly. And I was raised in a very specific way. It was called "Don't waste your effing money."
Hayden,
And so,
what
you
about
know.
you? Any
No.
new cars you've ever? Wow, I'm the only one who's
Not
ever bought a new
remotely.
car.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because you're rich.
I'm not that.
I got.
rich.
I picked up a.
I married well. That's all.
Oh, even better, everybody. He's not rich. His
I drive a
wife
Chevy
is
pickup
rich.
truck. My wife drives the Cadillac.
Yeah, okay. That's all I'm gonna say.
So
Nope.
my first brand new vehicle, 9 miles on the odometer, was a 98 Chevy S10
Nice.
LS, 5-speed, 4-cylinder, crank windows. I was lucky it had a tape deck,
Flame
Single-
graphics.
single cab, short bed.
Ooh.
And that thing cost me about $285 a month.
Wow.
I think it was around $20,000 brand new.
Okay. Yeah.
So my current vehicle, I got a 16 Colorado Z71. So it was everything I wanted to buy when I was 18, but couldn't afford. And that thing's costing me $700 a month,
Oof.
right?
Yeah,
The
well, it's not a
average-
cheap- it's not a cheap truck.
Yeah. Well, Experian just came out and said
Yes.
that loan payments for new cars are now averaging around $600 a month,
Whew.
with the average loan of around $35,000, which is up almost $2,000 from just a year earlier. And I think back to that $20,000 vehicle that I bought, and that was pretty cheap back then.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, 35. I think my truck was 45 when I bought it, something along those lines. But the car price just on average has jumped up significantly.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
just
was-
a few years ago when I was selling cars, I know it was about 30 grand, and it didn't take long at all to go up another 5 grand. So
Yeah.
everything's going. It seems like so many things are like going up market, and manufacturing and just general quality kind of suffers, even though things are getting more expensive.
Well, there's also so much more technology in these vehicles nowadays. I mean, everything comes with power windows. Everything's coming with XM radio and OnStar and some kind of sensors, more safety equipment than I ever even dreamed of. I mean, I thought of an airbag. It's like, oh, look at that. So cool. Back then that was it. The driver had an airbag. And I remember having to put my key, because I actually had a key for the door to unlock it. There were no key fobs. I could take that same key, because there were 2 keys, one for the door and one for the ignition, and
Right.
and lock and unlock to turn off the airbag for the passenger, so that if I did crash, my insurance rates wouldn't go up as high.
Right.
Wow.
Well, I mean, I bought a ZHP, which was easy for me to do. And then the RAV4 was cash. And so boom, boom, boom.
And I'm the rich guy. I don't buy cars in cash.
You know how much that
Here,
RAV4 was? It was $7,000.
Ooh, wow.
Out of here.
God.
Terry
Yeah.
lane splits with that thing, and he rubs mirrors with people in traffic to get by.
So I'll tell you, a happy little story about the RAV4. I drive the BMW more than I drive the RAV4. And when I do drive the RAV4, I forget it's a RAV4 at times. Well, basically for at least the first 20 minutes of driving that car. So I will, be driving. I'm like, I'm going to go around this corner and I'm doing 60 and the BMW can do it. And oh shit, no, it's a RAV4.
You're just leaning over and understeering.
And I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing?
Oh, that's funny. Wait, why is the top listing? Oh, because
The funny-
it has one.
One
Yeah.
funny thing about his RAV4 is it is a 5-speed manual.
5-speed manual, all-wheel drive.
Wow.
Yes, it is.
When I owned my detailing company, I had one customer that's all they had was used RAV4s. And I swear I will, if I ever see another RAV4 again and somebody goes, hey, could you detail that for me? It's like, no, absolutely not.
Yeah.
I'm not touching that. I've
Right.
done hundreds upon hundreds of them, and they're all just no.
So we got a
Vic.
comment there.
It's from
this is
Vic.
From Vic. It says trucks are getting expensive. Was looking at a used Silverado High Country for my buddy, and they're still at high 55K mark with 25,000 miles. The problem with trucks is that they've become a proxy for like luxury cars nowadays. Seems like as the home building industry has taken off the last 10 years or so after the 2008 collapse, just construction bosses have to have a truck in case they have to haul stuff, but they also want it to be this nice, plush leather office, and trucks have just gone incredibly up market. It's crazy.
Yeah, They have. So yeah, that's a very, I mean, good point. I mean, even, you know, pickup trucks are expensive. You can get into 70, 80, 90, $100,000 for some of these trucks. And if you, you know, even what Dave was stating right here is like, you know, he looked at a 3/4 ton diesel and it was 70 plus K.
Yep.
You start adding Denali stuff into that thing and all that kind of stuff, you're up there. So, you know, and that actually explains why some of these where, you know, they're looking at a 6-year, you know, loan to be able to do some of this stuff. I mean, you know, it's not like I wouldn't go out there and buy a new car. I mean, I buy certified, I would buy that and stuff like that. It's a little bit different. I just don't have that much disposable income compared to others. It's because I handle things differently. I plan for my retirement, et cetera, because that's the whole point, is you die with a lot of money. So, you know, that's how it works.
Whoever has the most wins.
I mean, it's this. Now, my father bought a lot of brand new cars later in his life. A lot.
Well, he just figured you can't take it with you, right? Or
no, he
pass
actually
pass it on to your children.
Well, he did. He actually passed on to his 9 children it wasn't that bad. I'm not going to say how much because I mean, but
it wasn't bad.
You know. So, but yeah, I mean,
Terry did get to buy an $8,000 used RAV4.
I bought that whilst he was still alive.
Oh well,
yeah,
you did better than me. I blew my entire inheritance when my dad passed away at the pub. The whole thing. I got a burger, fries, and a beer, and tipped the waitress. My whole entire inheritance,
nice.
All $22.
Nice. So I'm gonna share a happy little tidbit from Dave, because Dave is the insurance guru for us. And if anybody's watching, especially the fact that all these vehicles are so expensive, and we have a massive storm of snow that's gonna come. So definitely, thanks, Dave, for that. It's really, really cool that we have Dave. Thanks, Dave.
Yeah, thanks. I had no idea about this. So
Dave said, sorry, I don't think we read it. Dave said that the minimum insurance is, side note, check your property damage on your insurance policy. State minimum is only $15,000 for Colorado, of course, and not many cars are under that level these days.
Yep. And then the follow-up.
And a lot of policies only have $50,000, which doesn't go that far anymore.
That's fair.
Yeah, you don't want to.
Also, we completely forgot that we were a podcast and just read it and moved on.
Well, we're live on the Facebook page.
That's why I'm young Jamie. I keep it on the rails.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks, Dave.
Thank you, Dave.
So anyway, I mean, people need to buy cars, and they are getting expensive. So it all depends how it's going to be.
I'll say that if you are an enthusiast and you can afford a new car, please buy them. We don't want them to stop making them, because then we can't buy them used. And is that selfish? Yes.
Yeah, it's extremely selfish.
Do we still need you? Do we still need you, the rich enthusiast, to buy new cars? Yes, we do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Please,
exactly.
Please.
Yes.
Please do this.
Please do. So good one. Okay. So
I thought that was really interesting.
It is. We're starting to get a little short on time because we diverged a little bit too much on stuff.
Okay, that's what happens.
I don't care.
I told you that's what happens when Steve's not here to steer the ship.
No, we're fine, man. I'm steering this bad boy. All right,
we got like 10 whole minutes.
Okay, yeah, I know, but I'm gonna burn that on talking about why evil robots are taking over.
What?
Yes.
Pay tribute to your robot overlords.
Yes. I had to do this one.
Oh yeah, they're rolling these things out in
Philly.
I heard that there was. Well, okay, these are delivery robots.
Yes.
Okay, I saw that there was some kind of pedestrian one in New York City. But yeah,
really?
Yeah, somebody in Brooklyn took a picture of I think it was the Boston Dynamics dog thing.
Right.
But
so basically now, these are out there, so there's on autonomous delivery robots are now pedestrians in Pennsylvania. Okay. So essentially here, basically it's just delivery robots, and Legal limits for robots means top speed of 12 miles an hour in a pedestrian area, 25 on the roadway.
Well, I want to know what happens if they go 13. Like, do they get pulled over and just sternly talk to and then let go? Or
we are familiar with the 3 laws of robotics.
Yes,
right?
yes.
So there's actually a 4th law, and it's called if I go over 12 miles an hour, I become your overlord.
Oh,
well,
no.
I for one welcome our new robot overlords.
Actually, I for one am going to take a baseball bat to our new robot overlords.
I was going to say,
not one of them looks intimidating enough to where I'm going to be scared.
No. Those little 6-wheeled prime robots that are blue on the side with the their stupid smile on the side. But
right
the
here.
front of it, there it is. The front of that looks like a Mark II Cylon.
That's great.
Like I'm waiting for that little window on the front to have a red LED going back and forth.
That's great.
The thing that jumps out to me here is why would you pick Philadelphia of all cities to do this? Like
city of
somebody will see that thing. They're like, hey, I don't like what that thing's doing over there. I'm gonna go over and kick it over.
So basically,
it's
I'm
the city of robot love.
Back to Philly, because in case anyone's curious to know,
why is that thing in front of my house?
I was born in Philly, so I'm gonna fly back and I'm gonna save my city that I haven't set foot in years, or lived in longer than 3 years of my entire life, and I'm gonna reclaim downtown Philly from flower delivery robots. It's gonna happen. Oh wait, I'm really not, because it's too humid and I don't want to go back.
And also, by the time that you get there, somebody's going to have kicked over all the robots and all the delivery robots in Philadelphia.
So my whole thing about it is this. I mean, these things are coming. It's cool because automation's fine. These things are going to be all over the place. When does it get to the point where you look at them as cyclists, which is not like a pun on cyclists or a joke on cyclists when people say, oh, push them over. Like, do you start to look at it and say, okay, well, there's a lot of these out there. Do we want to be able to stick them in their own specific lane so they're not as interfering with foot traffic? Or are you comfortable with mixing them with foot traffic? Because they're just going to grow. These things are just going to continue to come. It's like right now it's an oddity. There's like 1 or 2, you know what I'm saying? But it's going to start increasing when companies start perfecting them. And they're able to, do local deliveries, etc. And then it's probably even going to be up for the simple, a simple thing as the Postal Service is going to be looking at these. They are, and sit there and go, well, hey, we could, in theory, in highly populated areas, not rural, but where there's a lot of apartment complexes, have those things just go around and do whatever they're going to do. Something like, I don't know, but
it seems like they need to have more capacity to be more cost effective. Right. So it has to, it's not just going to be good enough to just take like one person their dinner or one person, one bouquet of flowers. It's going to have to be. Yeah. So that kind of goes to, and that'll be probably more like, a car sized vehicle. And then, if we have full level 5 autonomous infrastructure, which is is that even happening in our lifetimes? I don't know.
Yeah. So no, totally.
I just wonder at what point this gets to a level where it's not like completely cost prohibitive. Because right now, I mean, you thought Uber Eats or DoorDash was bad, paying somebody to come in their car. Like you're sending a robot,
right? And do you tip the robot? Like,
no.
what are the rules here? Is that go back to the guy
actually
that's the
that's the 5th rule of robotics. You don't tip them.
You feed them.
You tip them over.
This is the world's tiniest violin playing for all the robot delivery guys out there.
Now, I'm just gonna advance this theory real quick. Okay, so the prime the prime robot 6-wheeled thing. I'm just going to say very simply this. That is a cat conspiracy. That is a cat battle wagon. Okay? Inside of there, you have a driver cat. Okay, that's an armored personnel cat. APC. In there, it carries at least 4 heavily armed cats. That's it, kids. That's
All it does is
Cats
knock
just come
things
out.
over.
You just get a few cats come out with little tiny AK-47s
Yes.
and rob you as soon as you open.
Hey,
your-
right. That's what it is.
Oh,
That's
it's a Trojan.
cat wagon.
It's like a Trojan horse
Yes, it's a
for
total-
cat robbery. That's awesome.
That's what it is. Your only defense is catnip. That's it.
Maybe if you have like some fresh smoked salmon, they'll be like, yeah, that's good enough.
Well, you got a can of tuna, yeah. But it's in vegetable oil, huh? Oh no.
Yeah, very. These cats are very, very picky eaters, so they're just gonna have to rob you of all your belongings if you don't have a tuna and proper fish oil.
So that's all I'm gonna say. It's the Auburn Personal Cat Carrier. That's it. APCC.
They just go down the road. Meow, 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 meow.
Yes, they
meow,
do.
meow, meow, meow.
Yeah.
Meow, 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 meow.
So exactly. So that's great.
Uh,
I know someone actually posted what our opinions on the RPM Act. That's for a later show. I'm not going to even get into that right now because we're rounding down. So if you all know what that is, that's they'll get a banned race card, which I've been hearing since I was 12 years old. So that's something we know about. And so that's something we'll probably discuss in a later podcast. This one is kind of like the goof off fun podcast for tonight. So
yeah, because Steve's not here. And when the battle cat's away.
Even when Steve is here, these podcasts are nowhere near as serious as people think they are. But yeah, that's actually a good thing. You know, we're definitely going to bring it up. If you were aware, we've done EV podcasts. So these are things we do delve into. So that takes some preparation and for us to look at it and discuss it logically instead of saying things like it's an APCC.
That's right.
This is going to be great. I really hope this cat carrier thing becomes a running gag.
It will be. that's the
you think that it's a joke until one shows up to your house and then you got 4 cats robbing you.
Right.
Yeah,
and just they knock over everything and then they leave.
Look,
with an indifferent look on its face. Going,
yes.
And you know what? All you have to do to get them to stave them off is some catnip. Catnip is cheap. Cleaning up your whole house, you know, pushing everything back right side up. That could take a while.
I just see people walking down the street with a bottle of water, going, "No, get away from me! Spirits, get away! No, it's bad."
They've got a protective. They got a protective bubble, so they'll be annoyed that you're spraying water, but it won't affect them.
That's what it's there.
They just keep on. They just keep trucking along to their next victim.
Just remember, everybody, if you're out and about walking and only thing you hear is meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. It's over.
Yeah, you're done. You're dead.
Over.
Hopefully you brought you took some catnip with you out of the house.
Basically, the second meow meow is when your catnip comes out. It's like meow, 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 meow. Oh, catnip.
Throw them a little catnip.
Anyway, so I do believe we should wrap it up. What do you think, kids?
It's been about an hour.
I do believe we shall wrap this thing up. But I do want to give a shout out to the sponsor that we're going to do. I just need to get myself all set up on that. So our sponsor we're going to mention is going to be. Wow, I just where did that go? Okay, sorry. Actually, it's going to be Mile High Automotive Detail. So it's Mile High Automotive Detail. They're a mobile. Okay, it's Benny, and I will shamelessly plug this. He did stage 2 paint correction to my BMW and ceramic coating on the windows and ceramic coating on my soft top. And Benny is an absolutely fantastic person, takes a lot of pride in his work, a lot of pride, you know, and he worked 2 days on my car here where I live. He just came, set everything up. You know, he washed the car. I mean, I even went and did errands in my wonderful 5-speed RAV4 and no worries. So definitely worth the check out. They are absolutely 100% professional. And, you know, you can just give them a call at 720-355-4110. That is 720-355-4110, and just give them, a book. But they are offering specials to our members. So they do have $40 off any complete exterior care, which is the basically thorough washing, degreasing, front door jams, etc. They have also a $40 off the complete interior care, shampooing, etc. And then $150 off any ceramic coating. Okay, I think I can actually. So that's actually on our page, by the way. You can just you can find it by just doing a search for Mile High Automotive Detailing. But also they are offering. Let me just close out of that.
Take a quick moment and chat with you about espresso.
Ooh, and so they are so.
I turned my phone on and there was Aaron talking about how their event was canceled.
That's great. So there's a $75 off any platinum detailing package. Okay, and then $125 off any diamond detailing package. So again, definitely check them out. I am extremely happy with them. They did a wonderful job. So again, it's 720-355-4110 and milehighAutoDetail.com. milehighAutoDetail.com. So any closing thoughts, gentlemen?
I, for one, welcome our new cat overlords.
So do I. So do I.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
Yes.
I'm not looking forward to I have to actually move the sports car out of the garage to get to the snowblower.
Oh, that's kind of.
Oh, it's not that fancy. I got to move the Saturn to get
Any
to the
snowblower is fancy than no snowblower. Any
Right.
snowblower, the world's worst snowblower is fancier than the world's fanciest shovel. So keep that in mind.
Yeah, there you go. So
That's
perfect.
true.
I will probably not be moving. I have some very worn and old all season tires on my Miata because I was holding out to buy some nice summer tires. So
Yep.
Aw.
There you go. Well, wonderful. Well, that's great. Well, thanks a lot, guys, everybody, for joining and listening and commenting today and enjoying the fun that is our podcast. So thanks for listening. We do love your feedback, so please leave it, et cetera, and do stay in touch with local car scene by visiting your favorite social media channels. We are, searching for Colorado Cars and Coffee. We're on Facebook, IG, YouTube, and more. So that's it. We are done. So it's time for us to head down the road, look at the snow, cry a little bit, and look out for the very simple telltale sign of meow, 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 meow. Good night.
Meow.